Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another HeroClix podcast. I am filling in for the one and only wonderful Alec Musser. My name is Keo, and along with me is the one and only Manny Ortega. We've got a lot to unpack, right?
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah. So we had the pleasure, not this past weekend, but the weekend prior, of spending a lot of time in Columbus. And we were participating in all of the fun HeroClix business that was taking place. I know we played some sealed. You got to play a little bit of extra modern,
Mm-hmm.
and we had some high points and some low points for sure. Our group overall, I think, had a good time, but I don't think it quite went the way anyone kind of thought it was going to go. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're also going to kind of talk a little bit about what to expect from Clicks going forward when it comes to those tournaments that we were just in. But before we get into all that, let's talk about what games we are playing in the spirit of Mr. Musser, who is not with us right now. He would want to know, what games are you playing, Manny?
I think I'm gonna not talk about games that I'm playing, but talk about, since we're talking about Origins, I'll talk about the games that I picked up while at Origins.
Okay. Okay.
So while I was playing HeroClix, the girlfriend was on game duty, picking up some board games, and un- they are all definitely. You could definitely tell that they were picked up not by me. So the games that we picked up are called Pack the Essentials. It is a game, a tile placement game where you're trying to fill up your suitcase that cats keep getting into. So there's that one. The other game we picked up is Ducks in Tow. It is a game where you're trying to go around collecting certain types of ducks. And the last game she brought is Boop, which is a game where your cats pretty much pushing each other around. So
That
those are the three games that we picked up over the weekend.
those definitely sound like titles that I don't think I see you picking up. Have you had the chance to play any of them?
We did play Boop together because it's a two-player. It's not too bad. It is a decent strategy game. It's all about placing your cats in certain areas to knock the others off and stuff like that. And I do think Ducks in Tow, the way it is made, like the type of game it is, I think I will enjoy that one a lot. We have not got to it yet, but I think I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. They sound fun. They have some fun titles for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And I always think that the sillier the premise of the game, usually the more fun it kind of gets because
yeah.
it's not taken too seriously.
I agree.
Um, and on the spirit of Origins, I got to play not necessarily a board game, but Crokinole, I believe is how you say it. Uh,
Crokinole, I think it is.
Crokinole. Listen, I never played it. And then you guys were like, "Hey, why don't you come try this out?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." Man, I came home Sunday, and I was or Saturday night, Sunday morning, I was looking online to see how much a Crocodile board was, because that game was ridiculously fun for the simple concept that it is. Man, I could go for playing that for another hour, 2
for
hours.
for the people that don't know what that is, the premise of the game is you have little pucks on this giant board, and you're trying to just flick them into the center, um, and you're trying to get closer to the center than your opponents by knocking their pucks around too.
Yes, it's a little bit like shuffleboard
Hmm.
meets cornhole, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, you're trying to dominate the board, but there are rules as to like when you can free place, or I should say, not have to hit the opposing puck versus just trying to get it in the right spot,
Right.
and so on. And then tomorrow, or the the other game that I saw was Don't Get Stabbed,
Oh,
which
yep.
looked like a lot of fun. I didn't pick it up, but the guy was selling it to me pretty hardcore, and I was pretty convinced of maybe trying that out one day.
I believe I know what that game is. I don't know really much of the premise of it, but it's got the little like ghost face guy on it, right? I think so. It's got like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
red box.
It's yeah, it's like I don't know. It's such a and that's the thing. So just real quick to touch on the non-hero click side of Origins. Man, I have never been there before, and holy cow, is it overwhelming with games.
Hmm.
I mean, so many small titles, little title, big titles. Um, there was no shortage of something to do. If you are a fan of tabletop, Origins, I know a lot of you might already know what that is, but for me, who was a first timer, that was overwhelmingly cool. I thought I had a ton of fun with the non-clicks side of things.
I do want to give a shout out to another game that we were gonna pick up, which of course is another cat game. But the guy from Checkmate that we play locally, um, or we would play HeroClix locally, had a game there for demo, and it was called Treasure Cats, which is really fun. It's kind of like a little social deduction, but you're trying to score points and stuff like that. um,
Yeah,
I highly
it was
recommend it.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a game where you're competing against everybody while also, leaning on one another to kind of play into your hand a little bit. Uh, it there's a few moving parts in the beginning, but there's fairly simple to pick up. I thought it was fairly easy. It's
Mhm.
something that I think a 10-year-old could pick up pretty easily, so it's not overly complicated. You don't got to have this lifelong background in gaming or anything like that. I thought it was a lot of fun. I got dominated. I didn't score a single point in our game. But I was also told at the beginning that I wasn't going to score any points, so we let that one slide.
Yeah,
That woman was out for it.
yeah, yeah, she definitely was. But it was a lot of fun. It was definitely I think it's an easy game to learn, and if you're interested in cat-based games, Treasure Cats is definitely for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Nate over at Checkmate, and the game Treasure Cats was a ton of fun. I look forward to picking up a copy.
He said that he is reprinting it, so that's why we weren't able to get a copy while we were there. But he
Right.
said he should have them out soon, so keep an
Yeah,
eye out for Treasure Cats.
and honestly, if you are a fan of tabletop games, one thing I learned was that there's no shortage of a corner of any market. If you're into cats, there are 30 games about cats. If you're into hamsters, there's 30 hamster games. I promise there's nobody is left out in the tabletop community at all.
Absolutely.
But let's get into the meat and potatoes, shall we? The crux of what we were there to accomplish. We went to Origins to play in the Modern Nationals, and then Team Sealed, as a lot of our friends did. None of our friends, I don't believe, participated in any silver events.
I don't think so. Nope.
Yeah, I don't think so. And it's not a knock on silver. It's just um I don't think it's quite our flavor, but I know that it's got a heavy backing. I know Aaron Morgan does a wonderful job with it. And I do think that there was a pretty decent turnout for them.
Hmm.
It was a good weekend for the entire Clicks community. But just to quickly touch on silver, shout out to Isaac AB. Did it again. He's just good. At this point, he's just
He's
good.
just good.
And he's continues to show up and show out. And he had a really, really strong weekend and was one win short of an absolute dominating weekend. So nonetheless, very successful weekend. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Silver Age crew and what they're doing. Honestly, a lot of cool things, and I like how they have consistently tried to wash certain figures, ban certain figures, then keep the game healthy because it is a much larger pool than the modern game. You're going through so many sets of figures. It can easily get a little bit, for lack of a better word, uh, simple, easy, right? You get people who weren't supposed to be interacting, and then all of a sudden somebody's way too overpowered. dark
Yeah,
side.
I just got into modern, so I think that'd be a little more of a headache for me to just jump into silver as well too. So trying to take
Yeah,
it
no,
slow at the time.
100%. I am also just starting as a new player altogether. Modern for me is, I think, a great starting stone. And really for any new player, if you're a new player out there, start with modern. I know it, people say modern's sweaty, modern's this, modern's hard. Modern gives you the best chance to compete uh, in in a competitive setting. Silver is so vast. There are so many figures. When you're just starting out, it's hard to have enough of the right figures you need or that you would want to try and compete against some of these other teams. Realistically, it's easier to try and find good pieces out of the 5 or 6 sets and some iconics and whatnot to compete with versus how many sets are in silver, like
I've crap ton, I
years
think.
upon years upon years.
Yep.
But yeah, so let's get into it. Let's start with our first event. We played Team Sealed.
Correct, we
Uh,
did.
we were there. And for those of you
Honest,
that don't know, real quick, Alec was there. He did not play with us. And for those of you that weren't there and didn't know, or haven't seen on the channel yet, he spent a lot of time with the Dial H folks and Calder. Shout out to
right.
those guys. They did a fantastic job narrating all of the weekend
Mhm.
and keeping us informed with what was happening while providing really excellent content. So shout out to Alec, Calder. You guys rock.
Ryan as well.
Ryan, Ryan as well. Ryan did well. Um, got to wash me in one of my games. We'll talk about that.
Yep.
And a chase booster of Weapon X, which I didn't realize that was going to be a part of it.
Yeah, I didn't either. I must have not read the details well. I mean,
Yeah,
cool
it
for
was
sure.
it was absolutely cool. The problem was, I'm not saying we've got a bad chase booster, but I don't think we got the best one out there.
Agreed.
And I think we made the best of what we could.
And I mean,
We
we didn't do terrible. There, I mean, we didn't do
yeah,
terrible.
yeah, for what it's worth, just so you guys are aware, me and Manny and our friend Gabe all played on one team, and of the 3 teams, I was fielding a team of common uncommon rares. I had no super rares and no chases. No bystanders, just me and my friends from Smash. It was fun though. I did get a W, so I couldn't be upset about that. And
But hey, let's say I was gonna say the W was.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was.
it was relevant. We got our we started out rough. The team that we played first was a very very tough team.
I'm pretty sure that
Uh,
team is the team that won the whole thing.
I believe
I
so.
believe it was. So it's Matter, JM, and Joe. I believe.
Yeah, so Joe, JM, and Mater all
Yeah, Mater, Alex Mater.
were on the same team, and yeah, we played them round one, and I got the pleasure of battling it out with JM, and he did not hold back. It was
You
not
want to talk
great.
about
It
what we
was not a
pulled?
great showing.
Talk about pools and teams.
Yeah,
So we'll get into what we pulled real quick. Just so we could have you guys have an idea of what we played and
yeah,
stuff like that. I know I played a Destroyer Prime team. Destroyer Prime, Arrow were probably the bigger names. Gabe ran. Gabe ran the Chase
Magneto Chase.
Magneto. Yeah, so Brotherhood team. So he had
hmm
a Brotherhood team, and then you ran all brutes, common
I
and common.
ran, yeah, I ran common, uncommon, rare brutes. I ran D Cell, Rhino, um, maybe Primus and the Quicksand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We did pass up on playing our Deadpool Death chase that we got in the booster. Just felt like there was nothing really in our brick to synergize with it. So we
correct.
passed up on it, which I think would have been a mistake, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I could have forced it onto my team, and I think it
Yeah,
would have been better. But at the end of the day, I don't think it fit anywhere in what we were
right.
trying to accomplish. and then so our chase booster was so Deadpool and Death, and then the unfortunate part was our rares were Sabretooth and Beast. We did not get a super rare. It was just 2 rares and then the chase. And our bystanders were Thumbelina maybe.
I think it was.
Yeah, I
So
can't. It wasn't one of the good ones, right? It
no
was. It
weasel, no
wasn't one you
Thornbreaker.
wanted. Yeah. It wasn't Kid Pool, Gwenpool. Nobody that was gonna help with attacks either. So, anyways, that was our pools. Um, I
Round
know.
one, we took all losses, all three of us. Um, so
Yeah,
we did not do well. I know I scored barely any points, so we were pretty low on the board.
yeah, we were. So round one we did terrible, and round two was a
we got
big
we got
W.
we got the biggest dub.
Yes, we each pulled off 150 points, and while that was taking place, we
we
all also got to go pick up all of our LEs and
did
do a little bit of
grab,
shopping,
grab some food.
grab some food, some snacks. It was that was our best round, hands
um,
down our best round.
round two, we got the bye.
We
So
got the buy. Call it whatever you want to call it, but I call it a win and a success.
I
Because
call
then
it
we
destiny.
move into round 3, where okay, now we're like we've got to win, and we've got to win by some points. We can't just score like 100 or 50. We got to put up a good amount of points, and we were able to pull through. I put up I think over 200 on my last game, and was it you? You took over 200.
Yeah, I got the 300. I got full 300.
You got full 300. I got over 200. And Gabe, I know, did score. He did lose, but he did score enough, or he scored some points as well. So that total team win plus the points just ever so slightly catapulted us to the top 8
Eighth place,
tier
baby.
spot.
Eighth
Top 8.
place.
And then after a long recess, we stumbled our ways back into the to the field where the top 8 team played the top team, and that team was comprised of Isaac AB, Ed AB, and Clay Wood. And for those of you that don't know, I'm sure many of you do, but those of you that don't know, Clay Wood is a wonderful human being and a huge, huge resource and to the HeroClix community. Is the founder and creator of HC Units, the site that we all love and adore every day. So that was the first place team, to which you got matched up with who?
I played Ed, and it was pretty close. I think I had 175 points, and the only by the time they called like last action, I got close to last action. He just killed Destroyer, so I won by 25 points, which isn't a big win, but it was a win.
Yeah, a
It was
win
a
is
good
a
game.
win. Top 8 team versus the top 1 team, and you pulled off a win. That's all you need to know about Manny. He just does things. Now as for your teammates, myself and Gabe, the effort
Unfortunately,
was there. The effort was made. It really boiled down to Gabe and Isaac's game. From what I understand, Isaac won, and then they had did a for fun run it back type of thing, and Gabe was able to win the second time around. But of course, the official scoring was
first.
obviously Isaac won the first time. So Isaac had won that match. So then all the marbles on me versus Clay Wood, and I didn't score a point. I did not score a single point. Clay beat me 300 to nothing, and we had a good 20-minute talk afterwards. Um, we got to really chat it up. It was a good time. It was a good experience. That was a really good group of 3 guys to try and play against, and I think that was also a good uh run at just getting comfortable for me in the competitive field against random folks uh, at the top of the game, right? All these guys that are in the top 8, they're all good players, right? These are not like anyone who's just learning the game or anything. Like, these are guys who've played and played and played. So it felt okay. It didn't feel good getting my butt whooped, but it was what it was, and that's okay. But yeah, so Manny ended up pulling out one win, but unfortunately, me and Gabe took losses. So we did finish 8th
Eighth
place.
place, baby. Eighth
But
place.
let me tell you, Origins pricing for 8th place team sealed,
Yeah,
pretty
solid.
good.
Yep, I'll take
Pretty
it.
good. I think we managed DC's Black Adam. We
Yep,
got Zombie Scarlet Witch.
yep,
Uh, Puck.
yep. And then duo figure, the Electra
Yeah.
and Daredevil.
Yeah. Daredevil and Elektra. And then Joker Fish for playing.
Yep,
Am I missing anything else? That was it, right?
yep. Jokerfish
Yeah. So
participation, and then the 4 LEs.
yeah. So I mean, those are incredible figures.
Hmm.
For getting top 8. I mean, that was really good pricing. I could not have complained. And given all of the folks that we did go with, I definitely won't complain because I think we came out the winners of the weekend overall
Yeah,
for our group.
yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, I don't think Emilio and Eli's team, who were, I think they won the Red, White, and Clicks one, and then they won. Did they win Nats or not? Or the one at what's it called?
A Gen
Gen Con
Con?
last year. I think they might have won the one at Gen Con last year. I'm not 100% sure. I think they did though.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wasn't around or wasn't like in the
But that was
game quite
a
that
big
heavily.
upset for them.
But yeah, they didn't they just I'm not real sure what happened. That would be something that we'd have to talk to them about, but it
In
just
their
sometimes
heads, they'd say they didn't get a buy.
oh yeah. They blame it on the buy. I blame it on skill diff. No. We completely I'm not gonna say the buy bailed us out, but it certainly made it a lot easier.
Mhm.
So kudos to those guys. They're obviously all really good players, but they had to work really hard to get to where they were, and we got a freebie. So sometimes the world just likes you like that. But anyways, so Team Sealed, we already touched on it, but it was Joe, John Michael, and Alex who took home first place, and they were phenomenal.
Mm.
And those guys aren't going to be names that you're not going to hear again. They will pop back up here shortly as we shift into Saturday, where the main event, as you may call it, took place, and the Modern National Championship Tournament. You want to talk a little bit about your team and kind of what you did going into it?
Yeah. So I honestly did not practice as much as all the other guys. I'll be 100% honest. I played it at Icy, and I played it again. It's the exact same thing I played. I played my James Rhodes team, which consists of Prime Rhodes, 4 drones, Major Logan at full points with motorcycle. Rhodes has trick arrows. Um, uh, is it Common Miles from Black
Yeah,
Panther?
Panther.
Dagaton, Kevin, and one Timebreaker. And sideline, I had Tyrett on Kevin. Then I had Beetlejuice, Mimic, Spider Man, Zeus, and last edition Amanda Waller was the last edition.
Yeah. And how do you think that team fared against the folks that you played? Like, do you feel like you could have done something different with your team, or
Um, I mean, I like the way my team plays. I think I did fairly decent. Could I have done better in paying attention to certain things? I think so. But I mean, I'm not butthurt with the way I played and how my team turned out either.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so you feel good about your team.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
For sure, for sure. So I went into the tournament. I was playing Hadari Yao and Colossus Prime. Hadari Yao was on a Hell Cycle. That was a last minute change. And then Colossus Prime was with the Destroyer armor. I played Major Logan and Madam Web with Perdegaton and the Timebreaker. And I liked it. I really liked my team. I had some really tough matchups, and I think that I just played the same team over and over again. At least it felt like on repeat at the tournament. And I needed more time to figure out how to defeat that team. And I'm not sure that I ever would have figured it out, but it was so tough. We'll get into the matchups here shortly, but I don't think I would have switched anything about my team necessarily. I just think it was rough matchups. The games that I had the chance to play and play well, I think I did, but the ones that I lost roughly, I don't think I could have done much different. But anyway, so we entered this tournament. We all sit down for our first games, and you took your first game? Yeah.
Yeah. So, round one, I had the honor to play one of my favorite people in the community personally, Mr. Brandon Hogan. He is such a joy to talk to, such a joy to play against. One of my favorite people in the community. He was playing a scientist team, I believe, which consists of Destroyer, two Super Harley Quinns, per Degaton, and a Weasel Pog.
Hmm,
The
that's
Ultra
interesting.
Trace Collector, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, my team is really well set up for Ultra Chases, Ultra Chase Collectors with Major Logan. So I took it pretty fairly easy. He did get 100 points, but I think he was able to collect Logan. But at that point, he was able to do it. It was,
Just
yeah, he was already like pretty
yeah,
close
it
to the
was
end.
too
Yeah.
late in the game.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be
Oh,
honest, just glancing over the field, I don't think I saw that many Ultra Chase collectors.
me either. I think
I,
Brandon's one of the only ones. I think.
I mean, I don't have the full list in front of me,
Right.
but
Right.
just from, when you're sitting down playing and you're kind of looking at everything, I don't recall a ton of Ultra Chase collectors, which I guess I kind of thought that they were going to be in tenfold, to be honest. I thought there would be at least a dozen, if not more. And it wasn't. So, I mean, I don't know what that means for that figure. I don't know what that means for that piece. Maybe nothing. Maybe people just wanted to try out the new stuff that just came out, Smash chases and things like that. I'm not sure, but it it wasn't prominent like I thought it was going to be, which is
Yep.
interesting. But yeah, so you had a really good game, which is always a wonderful thing. My first game was actually a guy that I've played before here locally at one of our local game stores, and I last time I played him, I beat him, but this time I was not able to beat him. But I will say he was running a team that he had never ran before, and me, a new player, I'm still trying to figure things out. And one of the things I'm trying to figure out is when I need to tell somebody that they're taking too long, that they need to kind of speed up their turn. Because unfortunately, I lost my first game, but I only got 2 turns. And it's really hard to KO things with stop clicks and such when you only get 2 chances to do it. Uh, I lost like I think 100 to 90. So I
Yep.
did do my best, but I need to kind of get a little bit more vocal, a little bit more in letting people know, or at least letting the judges know, like, hey, I don't think you're meaning to take long times and long turns, but you gotta. We're at nationals, right? You gotta know your team a little bit. You gotta know what you're doing. I get there's like strategy and thought process, but then there's just flat out kind of not knowing what you're doing. And yeah, unfortunately, I think that resulted in the result of my first match. But nonetheless, he's always a fun guy to play. And it was a good experience. We talked, and he said he apologized and everything, but I just said it's okay. It was just unfortunate. So I got to learn to speak up in those scenarios. Is all. Um, Moving on to our second round matchups. Do you recall yours?
Yeah. I got bumped all the way up to table 2, big dog in it.
Hey.
I played a great guy named Nate White. He was awesome. His team consisted of, look it up actually. I have it right here. So he had Dr. Doom Chase from Collector Trove, Caveman Wally West, Black Panther Legacy, Green Man, Perdegaton, Space Ghost, Plastic Man, Copycat, Weasel, and Timebreaker.
Holy
Um,
bystander.
yeah, unfortunately for him, with all those low point costed characters, like a lot of the lower support, Rhodes goes up and binks them for 2 pen right off rip, and then Biggs. So I was able to clear out a lot of that right away. It came down to Doom, I believe, coming up. He had just Doom left coming up. He was able to score 140. I walked out with 230, taking a second win for round 2.
Yeah. So you're cruising at this point, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you're feeling really good about what you're doing. Second matchup for me was against a pretty good opponent. Unfortunately, he was telling me that it was a last minute team that he had constructed. So he was playing Main Force Ares, Old King Thor at 200, and Phoenix Pog. And so I was really nervous at the beginning of the game because I had moved up and he had pulse waved Madam Web and Hadar Yao into oblivion. And that was it. I thought, man, I have Logan, Colossus, and Degaton left, and he's got a 200-point Thor that's running wild. I was like, this might be it. But I was able to come back. I did 300 him. It was a great game. That was one of my more prouder moments because that told me that in the game, in a live game state where I don't know my opponent and things are happening quickly, I was able to adjust on the fly, realize I lost some pieces, and needed to figure out a new strategy to attack the team that I'm playing against. And I was able to pull out a win, which is really, really nice. And he was no slouch either. He was an extremely good player and did a lot of really unique moves with Old King Thor. I certainly did not put enough respect on that guy's name. That was a good matchup. I had a lot of fun with that one. I did win 300 to I think 135.
Yeah, it
So
does. Yep,
I'm
that's what it says.
yeah. So I'm sitting 1-1. You're sitting 2-0 at the second table,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Big Shot.
Yes, sir.
So we're moving into our third round here, and this is where my wheels come off. But how was your third round?
So third round, I played against Steve. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, so if I say it wrong, but it's Bumbira. Bumbira. Steve was a super nice guy, really fun to play with, really fun to talk to. He was playing, I believe, it's the Chase Cap from Smash, Colossus Prime, Spot, Black Panther, Perdegaton, and Daredevil Legacy. And to be 100% honest, the game would have had a completely different turnout, but Steve unfortunately was rolling crit misses, rolling really bad. He only hit like 2 attacks the whole game. So I felt bad playing him because I think the game would have been more fun and interesting if his rolls were better, but that's part of the game, isn't it?
Oh,
Really
it
nice dude. Yeah,
100%
really
is.
nice dude.
Yeah.
Really fun to play against. I walked
Yeah,
out.
that's Go ahead, go ahead.
235-30 that game. So
Yeah, the roles. That's the thing. Is like if your roles are bad, your team's okay, right? Don't sell the team just because the roles are bad. If you lose because of strategy or position or just flat out outmatched, that's one thing. Maybe it's the team that needs rebuilt. But if you're out there with the best team that you can put together and you're playing it right and your roles are crit misses and threes and fours and that's you just run it back, right? You just run that back. Um, Also, just real quick, so for round two, I did play Reggie Inohales. I'm so sorry. I probably didn't say that right. But Reggie was the old King Thor player who said it was a last minute change team because he had forgot some pieces or lost some pieces. In any case, for a guy who threw its team together at the last moment, man, he made me work. Um,
this is round
so then
three.
on the so on to round three, I played Mr. Ryan Rebman. And for
Oh
those of
yeah.
you that don't know, Ryan is part of the D-Generation Clicks crew.
Mhm.
He is a phenomenal guy. Really fun to play against. I felt a little bit added pressure, so this is my first nationals, my first big boy tournament, and now I'm getting summoned to the front of the class to go play on camera, and I'm thinking, yo, I cannot mess this up. And honestly, there was very little I was going to be able to do. He ran a really tight ship. He ran a really good team. And he was the start of what it felt like an eternity because I played him who he was playing Spot, Sandman, Chair Panther, and Mysterio. I believe it was Mysterio. But the whole bring him in, poison, that's the end of them. Uh, yeah, I stood zero chance. I tried and tried to practice for Spot, and that figure is just a problem. I can deal with the getting around and the flurry, but pulling characters, 15, 16, 14 squares over, that's hard to try and battle.
So the
Uh,
exact team was the Spot, Mysterio, Sandman, Black Panther Legacy, also Bloodstone Prime, Per Degaton, Zenzi, Daredevil, and Timebreaker. Daredevil Legacy.
yeah. Yeah, so I just that Spot Sandman Mysterio combo was so lethal. So lethal. And a buddy of ours was playing that team and was also doing really well this tournament. Shout out Alonzo.
Mhm.
Um, the Spot teams they were showing. Um, Spot was everywhere. But
I believe they
Ryan
said there
did
was 17 being played at Nats.
17 teams with Spot at Nats. And I would argue that at any given moment, probably 7 or more were in the top 20. I would argue.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know the actual stats on that one, but
Yeah, I mean, just because that team was just performing so well at such a high rate. The pull over, well, the flurry, then pull over, then poison that can't be reduced. Um,
I
just
also think
feels
it's
bad.
hard to tell if a figure's doing well if a lot of people are playing it because they could be mirror matching and as well too. So, I mean, it did well. Clearly, a lot of people played it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely think Bot came out as I don't think it was a surprise, right? Leading up to Nats, I think our particular play group were all very aware Spot was going to be rough and that it was a matter of time before people figured out how to make Spot really good. And I think that showed at Nationals, if I'm being completely honest. But Ryan did he did take 300, and but don't let it slip. I did KO his mimic, and that'll be the last time he pulls those shenanigans. No, actually, it was a great time. He actually went to go call in his mimic, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I don't have a D20," and I was like, "That sucks." As I hold a D20 in my hand. And I was like, nah, I'm of the camp where, like, if I'm gonna play somebody, I want to beat them at their very best. If I'm gonna beat them, so I was like, you can use mine. But then he was like, that's fine. But like after this, I gotta go get one. And I was like, well, good for you. There's probably 40 vendors who have a D20 here. Some of them you might even get for free. But yeah, it was. I didn't have to be the nice guy, but I certainly do respect a good opponent, and I try to make sure I'm kind of playing people at their best, because I think that's the only way you get better in these types of scenarios.
100%. I
Um,
agree.
but yeah, so moving on to match 4, you're really feeling yourself at this point, right?
Oh, dude. I 100% was.
Yeah, because I mean you're gassing me. You're gassing our friend Emilio. Emilio as was recognized as the Doom guy.
Yeah, the Doom guy.
Yeah, he's the Doom guy. Emilio
They will
is the
not be
guy
doing that
who
for him anymore.
infamously ran Doctor Doom and showed everybody how good that piece actually can be, and made a lot of people believers. But I do think that he was struggling in this particular tournament, and I think it was just a matter of, he even had made the comment prior to, saying he just wondered if his team was getting outdated. And I think that maybe this was a little bit of a reminder that this game continues to move, these pieces continue to
Absolutely.
grow, and as good as something is, there's just something bigger and badder around the corner. And that, I think that's kind of what happened. But I do know he's one of the better players that I've ever met in my life, alongside a lot of the folks that you're hearing now, Manny and our friend Gabe and Alonzo and Eli, all of our friends here, Alec. These He's one of the better players that I know of, and just wait, he's got new stuff cooking up already, and I'm sure he's gonna be hitting the scene here shortly. So look forward to those things. But anyways, you're 3-0. Now you're going into your 4th match, and you're like, I'm heading to Top Cut, baby.
I did sit next to Alec or Isaac last round. I said, "I am coming for you," like just messing around. But I go in round 4 and I play the great John Michael. And I
Oh
say it that
yeah.
way because John Michael stomped me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I looked at his team and I was like, man, I was like, I'm gonna rank this team. In my head, I was like, oh, I was way too overconfident. I was like, I'm just gonna go up, roadie his whole team, and that was it. But John is one of the he's so good with the way he placed things, the way he used his canon event. It all worked out so well for him, and he played great. He spanked my butt. So John was playing a pass team of Aquanix, Zala, Captain America, Peg, Reverse Flash, Harley Quinn, Per Zenzi, Timebreaker, and Lucas and PJ Scott Pog. And I will say that the one biggest thing that I was not expecting to hurt my team the most was the Zenzi Pog.
Hey.
He moved it up, and she's able to give, I think it's Earthbound Neutralize. So then Rhodes couldn't make a range attack,
Oh.
so I couldn't use my special attack. So I had to waste the attack from Logan to kill it, so that way Rhodes can make an attack, and then he cannon evented Aquanix, which was pretty much blocking his whole other team, and I was not able to target anybody anyways. So it really sucked. He played really well. Um, Definitely shut me up real quick. It was a lot of fun too playing it as well. I like to see teams that I'm not expecting to do well. That's why I like my team, because I feel like when people sit next to it, they're like, "Oh, this team isn't going to be that good." But I think everyone I've played complimented my team in some sort of like how they did not expect it to be as good as it was.
Yeah, 100. Well, I mean, I've been saying that since you and I started this journey.
Right.
You know, I, I I'm one of those guys who, when I first saw Prime Roads, and I was like, okay, I mean, he's cool, I get it, he's okay. But then I start seeing how you make him work, and I'm like, okay, this has some wheels, and I think it's always super cool to see people kind of open their eyes to new strats, new things like that, because you're right. Those unique builds is what makes this game fun. It's a healthy meta has lots of interesting builds where you can make a guy like Prime Roads really, really effective, and you don't have to lean on, you know, Ultra Chase Collector, all the other things, typical like heavy hitting figures. But yeah, John Michael uh, is 2-0 against both of us in here. So he's beaten you
Yeah.
once, he's beaten me once. He is
Yeah.
now no longer friend of the pod, he is enemy of the pod. No, I'm just kidding. We love you.
Yes.
You are a phenomenal player. You play really well. It was a blast to play you in sealed.
Mhm.
Manny sounds like he had a ton of fun playing you in the modern tournament. We look forward to many, many more matchups, my friend. Um,
Yep.
so my round 4 game was against Jeremy Birkin. Uh, if you didn't know, Jeremy was playing Spot Sandman Mysterio. And so I got to play that luxury 2 games in a row back to back. And the second time, I'm like, all right, I'm going to play it differently. It did not matter. It just Spot, rivalry, pull you across the map, poison you, beat you up, and then you're vulnerable. There's just nothing you can do to prevent it. I mean, Traffic Barrel helped a little bit, but it was just, and you know what? I'm not hating it. I'm not knocking it. It's a really effective strat and it works. So I get why people are running it, but it does leave a rather sour taste back to back games where you're, you know, not, you don't have the piece or the right construct to really deal with it. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, well, Hadar Yao gets flurried, brought over, and I'm like, just hand it back to me. I'll go put it on the sideline. You don't even have to poison it, it's fine. Um but yeah, he was a good opponent. He was extremely friendly. He was definitely trying to climb himself, because at this point, I'm 1-2. I know he's 1-2. He's trying to get himself back up to that top cut range, and so I commend him for that. And I don't really know how it panned out for him, but he was a great player. And to be fair, I did beat his youngest son in sealed, so
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess I
yeah.
had that coming. Uh, he was getting revenge, and that was okay. But yeah, I'm 1-3 at this point. And honestly, my goal going into this was to win 1 game, and I was able to do that, and that made me feel really good, especially because I had to come from behind to do it. Um, but anyways, round 5, the last of 5, right? We're playing
Yep.
5 rounds Swiss, and then they're talking top cut. You're
Yep.
1-3-1.
3-1. Yep. 3-1.
Yeah, so you got to pull off a win here.
Not even so, just enough points. There was
Yeah.
some
Okay.
there was some 3-2s up there. I would have to just pull up points. I played against Ricky, um, Prignano.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Yep. Yep. I played against Ricky. He was playing Spirit Avengers Red Hawk, lower dial. He was playing Ghost Rider Super Rare, Kevin Perdag, Chitari Bystander, and Timebreaker. and turn 3 comes, I wreck half of his team right off rip. And so at this point, because I was able to mimic him, right? I mimicked Spirit of Vengeance right off the rip, so he wasn't able to run up with him. Then I was able to clean off most of his support. He sent Ghost Rider up. Logan handled Ghost Rider, and then Spirit of Vengeance came up finally. And I was putting in work on him until he started bringing people in, and at that
Yep.
point I was screwed. But I will say I had him so close. It was such a good match, and it was so fun to see him be able to come back too, because I had Spirit of Vengeance on like his last, I believe, 3 clicks. So I was so close. But yeah, it was a really fun match. Loved talking to him. He was really cool. It was so close though. Yeah, I wasn't mad about that loss at all, even though I didn't make top cut, and which I was shocked about because at this time I was 10th on the list, and I scored, I believe, 100 something points this match. Yep, 105. So I was like, okay, that's not terrible. So that's a decent amount. But unfortunately, I still dropped from 10th to not enough. I went to 20th after this round and did not make top cut, unfortunately,
Yeah.
with a 3-2 record.
Yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, that speaks to the field. The field was tough. It was a tough field. You certainly played well. If anything, this was your first Nats Modern.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, and you're walking in 3-0. You're 3-1, 3-2, but pulling in big points. You gotta love that. I mean, that's a hell of a
68.
performance for you. Yeah, yeah. I'm proud of you. I think you're a really good player. I always enjoy our games. I wish we got to do it a little bit more often, but you just don't make it to the top table like I do. So it's good.
Right.
But no, honestly, super cool to have you perform so well, especially with a team that I think a lot of people would write off if they saw it like on the field or even on paper for that matter. Yeah.
About is like he
And
was really
he's a
shocked
what?
about. That's what me and Ricky were talking about. Was like he was really shocked about that first couple rounds where I had him on the ropes. He was like, I was not expecting it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like the beauty of this game. At least that's like my favorite part about this game is like giving life to these figures who a lot of people like, oh, okay, this one's cool, whatever. But then, you go and sit down against the Prime Roads and you're like, I had no idea this guy could do this type of damage. And I think that's awesome. I think that's so cool. So from I'll kind of breeze through my last match because at this point we're 1-3. We got the dub. We got one dub on under our belt. But we did get to play the star of the show, Mr. Ethan Duncan.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. My boy Ethan. No, he actually had a really, really good team.
Hang on,
He's
before you
for
start
those of you
getting
that
this. Yeah,
yeah.
I say just to throw out, just so you guys all know who Ethan Duncan is. That is my girlfriend's little brother.
Yeah, he is. I love that dude. He's always a ton of fun to play against. We play with him at the local scene. I've played him numerous times, and he's funny. I've never had a bad game with him. It's always a good
Yeah.
time. But with that being said, he was running Cat Peg and Hawkeye, Cookie Witch, and just some other thing. I think he was running Past or Event. No, he's running Avengers.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
It
running
was
Avengers team.
he was running I believe he had Cap, Prime Colossus as well. Cat Peg, Prime Colossus. Here,
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's right. Prime Colossus. I remember that, yeah. And Hawkeye, Cat Peg, Scarlet Witch, Kooky, and Copycat.
Yep.
And
Dagaton.
I
Yep.
think yeah, Degaton. Yep. So he had a good team. And honestly, it's another one where, I think a lot of people like forget how good Hawkeye and Hawkeye can be. but he played him really well and made it look really good. Ultimately, I ended up winning, but it was a good game. It was 150 to 140 or something like that. Such a fun time. But honestly, at that point, me and him were just like, we're just having fun. Let's just roll
Yeah.
some dice back here. We're on table like 50. We're here for the party, brother. That's all we're here for. And we had a fun time. Honestly, I could not I if I had to pick an opponent to go out on a bang with, I'm glad it was Ethan because he also is just excited to just be there and play.
Yep.
But with all that said, as many of you might have already picked up, I didn't make top cut, which was a huge shocker because I was projected to win the whole thing. And uh, Manny did not make top cut either. And
None
like I
of
said,
our play group made top cut, unfortunately. So
yeah,
big shout out to our play group because I want to give them a shout out because they all practiced really hard, played hours of matches just to be prepared. So I want to give shout out to Emilio, Gabe, Matt, Alonzo, Eli, all you guys who participated. None of us made top cut, unfortunately, and I think it really hit a lot of our egos. But we'll get them next time.
yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, top eight's team seal, baby.
Yeah, top
No,
eight
I'm
team
just kidding.
sealed,
I
baby.
was
Hey.
just kidding. No, our group is a really good group. Just as there was a lot of different teams there who also had their own little play group. It was really cool to see all the different. I don't want to call them factions, but that's kind of what it was. Was like different groups of cliques groups.
Mhm.
But our group, I know they did practice really hard. So yeah, absolutely shout out to those guys. They've been working really, really hard, and don't get it twisted. They will be back. All of us will be back, and we will be swinging for top cut next year. But I don't want to hash out too much of it, so I'm gonna fast forward to the championship matchup, and as we've talked about, spot being a problem, or at least a tough matchup in this tournament. You said 17 of them. There was another figure that you had played against that also proved to be a bit of a problem, and that was Isaac AB's team with Spirit of Vengeance Red Hawk and his
So
pilots.
running Spirit of Vengeance Red Hawk 2 at full points.
Yes. 4 Chase Thanoses from Collector's Trove were the pilots. He had Gaia and Kathan on the sideline. Main force Beetlejuice, Kong 50 points, and Phoenix.
Was Isaac running him at full points or 150?
Half
Okay.
125.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 125,
Half.
125. I think Ant was also running it at 125.
Yeah. I
Not
think he
100
was too.
sure.
I think everybody was running him at lower.
125. Yeah, closer to get him to the spawn outs or
Yeah, it gets
whatever.
him that stop faster.
Yeah. Okay.
So Isaac AB is in the final with the Spirit of Vengeance team with the 4 Chase Thanos pilots that he manufactures when he hits each stop click. And he was going off against Joe
Yep.
Harrison, right?
Yep. Joseph.
Joseph Harrison, who was playing Colossus Prime with the Destroyer armor, Ghost Rider with Crimson Gen, super rare number 48 Ghost Rider, Kevin with Towerette, Chair Panther with a longsword, Degaton, Timebreaker, and Lucas PJ and Scott. Sideline was Fortify Rivalry, Beetlejuice, Cathan, Trove, Scarlet Witch, and Towerette. And he also had a traffic barrel. So with all of those things said, that is one heck of a matchup. Joe is part of the Team Sealed championship team. And then he had a tremendous showing in the modern tournament as well, making all the way to the top matchup. And I didn't get to watch the match. Did you get to see any of the match?
A little bit of it. Not too much, but closer towards like the beginning. So not when anything too exciting was going on.
Sure, sure. So ultimately, shout out to Joseph Harrison, Joe Harrison. He ended up taking the entire tournament. He outlasted and defeated Isaac AB, who ended up finishing second place in the modern tournament. So again, like I said, shout out to him. He was your silver champion and your second place in modern. And then shout out to, like I said, Joe Harrison, who was your modern champion as well as your team sealed champion. Wow. I truly thought that the Red Hawk team with the Chase Thanoses was going to be winning the entire thing once I kind of saw the play itself out. I did not unfortunately get to see how the game had unfolded, so I'm not sure what the approach was for Joe, but he made a lot of noise with his team because I think when you look at his team, Colossus Prime is a figure that we all know and love and we know is good, but I think just doesn't get ran very often. Ghost Rider, super rare, another good figure, but I think kind of gets lost in the fold. Kevin, I know no explanation needed. Chair Panther, same. Degaton, Timebreaker, then the Lucas, PJ, and Scott. Just
So,
overall, I mean,
so I want to go
I
over.
love.
I think I heard what the strategy was that he was using
Okay,
was putting elevated underneath Spirit of Vengeance. The 2x4 I think or whatever the small the one that
the
fits
scaffolding.
perfectly. I don't. Was it scaffolding? I have no idea.
Yeah, because it's on his team build. Yeah, it's a 1x2. Yeah.
Yeah, the 1x2. So that way he had nowhere to place the figures. hmm
Oh,
So he couldn't bring them in.
that's wild. And that's what I'm saying, man. Well, every time I think I got something going on, every time I think I know what's up, this happens, and I'm like, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, it's really smart.
That's big brain. Shout out to Joe, man.
hmm
Really good player. Another really good player. Shout out to him.
I had the privilege
He
of sitting next to him, and he was so fun to talk to. I had a good time talking to him about strategies and stuff like that.
yeah, I that's the thing, and we'll kind of wrap this up here shortly, but um, yeah, just out of the box thinking, just second nature to some of these guys who just know what to do, how to do it, and approach the game with such a unique perspective. Um, I genuinely would never have thought of that. That's really smart. Um, so and then also before we move on too far out of the Origins realm, shout out to Antonio Clark. He was your BR champion. He did win the
hmm
BR championship. So definitely don't want to leave him out. He is a friend of the podcast. He played really, really well. He is that guy when it comes to BRs. And I also was notified that he did not write on any of the rented tablecloths, so no artistry for anybody.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but perhaps next time is what he said. Um. Anyways, so any last kind of remarks about Origins as a whole, clicks or non-clicks?
Yeah, one big thing I just want to say is, really loved meeting everyone I played against. I did not have a single bad matchup. Everyone I played against was really cool, really fun to play against, really nice to talk to. Everyone I've met in the community so far, it's been such a delight. I also want to throw out the fact that I was really shocked that I did not play any of the same teams through the whole 5 rounds that I played in. Each team was a completely different team, so I was pretty happy about that. Helped me learn my team a little better in certain situations I could have played it. But yeah, it was a blast. I had a good time, even though I didn't make top cut. I went 3-2, which I did a lot better than I was expecting myself to do. So I'm happy with it. I also
Yeah.
did place the highest of our play group, so suck it, Emilio. But yeah, placed 20th out of 63, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, and you should be. Yeah, no, I agree. I was gonna say something to the similar sentiment of that as a guy who's new to this space, I had one person say they did recognize my voice, and I've only done a few of these episodes, so hey, I must be doing something right. But I saw so many people that I've seen on the different Facebook groups and different pages here and there. I got to have a conversation with Aaron Morgan, Anthony Barnstable, judges, all the judges, phenomenal job. They were extremely effective. They were running like crazy people in mid game, which I'm not used to, but I'm sure that's the norm. But they obviously are extremely passionate about what they do. Jay Patel, all those guys, they were phenomenal. I can't give them enough credit. So yes, shout out to the judges. Without you guys, things like this can't exist. So we're incredibly thankful for you guys.
100%.
But yeah, I got to play against. So I mentioned them a few times, right? But Clay Wood. That's a guy that I never thought I'd even meet, let alone get to play clicks with. Extremely honored. John Michael, among many other guys that I got to play clicks with. Not a single bad apple. Everyone was extremely generous. They were kind. We had a lot of fun, lots of laughs. It was a good time. Ryan, so little fun note. The game that I was playing, Ryan Redmond. Um, I told him, and Alec was sitting right, like maybe 2 feet to his right. And I told him, I was like, Ryan, this is quite the upset. You beat me 300-20. I was actually voted to win this thing. And the look that Ryan gave me was like, what in the hell is this guy smoking? He was like, he literally looked at me and was like, oh, okay. Like he was speechless. And I was like, yeah. And Alec was like, "Oh, dude, Keo's the best." And I was like, "I know." I just told him I was supposed. This is absolutely out of character for me to be down this bad. Um, no, such a fun time. Loved every matchup, and I cannot wait. Hopefully, Origins comes back to the Columbus area. I cannot wait until the next showing. Um, but to move off of the Origins train and kind of where we're heading next. As we've kind of already talked about, WizKids has dropped the note that I believe tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to get the exact date, but I thought it was July 3rd was going to be the watch list after nationals for our figures. Um, Regardless of when it is, I know it's coming soon. I want to say it is tomorrow. Do you have any thoughts after seeing the teams in play or kind of hearing about the field of any figures or things that you thought or seen that you're like, maybe this ought to be taken a second look at?
I mean, obviously, a lot of people are thinking we're probably going to say the pilots for Spirit of Vengeance. I think that definitely was a pain for a lot of people. Um, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
maybe having the pilot, if you're a pilot, you have to be unique, would be different. Probably help that out a little bit, so that way you're not running the exact same thing. Like I think most people did play other figures. I think Ricky played two Thanoses and like a Phoenix Wolvie, and I think Ant had a Scarlet Witch on his too, a zombie Scarlet Witch. But maybe making them unique, so you can
I
only
think
have
someone
one
ran a
of that
beholder as
kind.
well.
Yeah, I think I did see a beholder as well. But I think that might help. I think that also might be sought. like to look at. I think that's going to be something definitely brought up. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Spirit of Vengeance, Red Hawk.
Mhm.
The For those that might not be aware, he does have 4 stop clicks at the end of his dial, to which he generates his pilots. However, his pilots are not unique, so that's how you end up generating 4 300-point Chase Thanoses. And the reason the Chase Thanoses, for what it's worth, are so important is because on his last click, it's like a 14 attack, 20 something defense, hitting for 6 clicks. And he can actually use all of the powers that were previously displayed on his dial. So he's got a slew of powers. You multiply that by 4, and you've got 4 absolute tanks running around. So that's where we get to the conversation of maybe having it be unique, where you just can only play one character with that name, so that you don't have those types of things pop up. The other notes that I think came up were canon event. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think that a lot of the community was kind of, or maybe is rooting for canon event to be only triggered by an opposing effect causing a KO. You could not KO your own figure and then canon event someone else. Um, so like, think of like Prime White Tiger generates Chi Tiger, and then you deal a damage to Chi Tiger or something, then you canon event, I don't know, White Tiger Prime, right? And
Interesting.
so then it just becomes like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna purpose is it's all about strategy. So I think people are wanting to where you can only canon event if I take out your fig, not if you take out your own fig. And maybe that's the right move. I'm not sure. Um, I do think the way it's written now does add some flavor, some strategy. So that'd be,
Clearly,
I
yeah,
think, a
clearly.
cool thing. Um, Another big one, and I guess how do we skip this one? Beetlejuice. Uh, there's a lot of think that the biggest issue with Beetlejuice right now, main force I think is fine because he's 100 points and it's gonna hurt you the whole game, and I think that's fine. The trade off is there. I think what people don't like, or I think what comes up is there are ways, time breakers, autonomous actions to bring in Beetlejuice for next to nothing without hurting your action total, while also, let's say you keep your Beetlejuice on the field and you burn a Prime Roads drone, right, or something else that's not costed, then you're kind of getting them for free, and I think that's something that people aren't happy about. So I think they're wanting either the damage to be standard figures or costed figures or something of the sort, so that at least you're having to take a negative punishment for keeping him around, not just feeding it into some uncosted figure and then they just regenerate next round, right? Let's say Rhodes hits his leadership, boom, drone's back, and it costs nothing to keep Juice on the field.
Yeah, I see why people complain about him. Personally, me, Beetlejuice, I don't think affects my team as much, so I don't really care. I mean, if you bring it in against my team, cool. I'll take the 100 points. That's just the way I see it.
Hey,
I'll take the 100 points.
no, and you're right. I mean, and that's with all of these things, right? Like, it's always going to be matchup based, so not everything's going to hurt you. Not everything's going to be easy either. So I think that the overwhelming player base just doesn't like that there are a lot of scenarios where Beetlejuice can exist for free on the sideline and then exist for free on the map while not having to really cause any kind of pain or damage to the opponent. It would be, I think, like it's kind of an extreme thing, but like, what if they made it to where like roll a d6 and then you deal half the damage You can say, I don't know, half the damage to the opponent picks who gets the damage. Then people will be like, well, I don't know if I want to keep him out there, but maybe it's worth it this one turn or something like that. It's too free. I think it's too free for a guy who takes away free. uh, and then I think Spot was the other one. Spot's the big one. Um, I think someone had mentioned actually at Origins that maybe take away Spot's ability to be equipped. So then he can't have the extra movement, and he only gets his one movement. So then he can only do the swap spots spot once instead of twice. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to say the least. Maybe the thing that I don't like the most about Spot right now is just that the free flurry is fine. The rivalry makes it feel bad, but the worst part is when you take your figure 15 squares away and put it in their starting area, or that's pretty much where you're ending up, and then it's just a kill box of poisons and attacks, and you have no defense. You couldn't even get there to help if you even tried. There's something that's mechanically, I think, unfun about that. I certainly know why people run it. It makes a lot of sense. I just think in a world where nothing else mechanically can move an opposing figure, you have one game mechanic that can move it literally 15, 16 squares if it wanted to. And I think that's bad. Do you have
Yeah.
any last? Go ahead.
Uh. No, that's what I say. Yeah, I think that's about it. Um. Same with Spot. I mean, I played against a couple spots. Alonzo's for practice, and then the one I played against in the tournament. And like I said, it didn't bother me any. It didn't affect my team as much uh, because Spot has to hit right for that to be able to pull somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um, unless you're got an outwit all the way across the map to get rid of my 3 through 6 senses, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, the issue is rivalry.
Um, Spot does not share key with anybody on my team.
Yeah, but Spot rocks that ruler keyword for whatever
Oh
reason,
yeah, yeah.
and lots of figures have ruler keyword, and that's the one that hurts.
Well, then just make your team to play. No,
Yeah, you know what? Robots are on the board, baby. Yeah, and that I just real quick, I think a lot of people kind of were maybe wondering if rivalry might get looked at just because it's a dice rolling game. The whole point is to roll the dice. Uh, just saying, okay, you hit. That feels kind of like, eh. Maybe if it was just like an automatic successful attack roll, to which then the other person could still sense out of it, or something along those lines. So it just says you have this flip this one shot to get a successful attack roll instead of automatically hits or becomes hit, because then you know you really are stranded and stuck. But I don't know. Maybe it's fine the way it is. Maybe it's
The way I think it like balances because of the fact that you need to share a keyword.
yeah, but it's in a world where keywords are like so vast and there's so many overlapping. I think it's I think it's easier to do that than not. Especially because like most of the meta figures or most of the figures that are getting used have those same keywords. Warrior, soldier, ruler, avengers, and so on and so forth. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I don't hate it. Uh, anyways, uh, I have nothing else left to really say. Uh, do you have any closing remarks? Anything that you want to mention that we didn't talk about? HeroClix, origins, or anything otherwise?
I just want to give one more big shout out to everyone I played against, specifically. You guys are awesome. I love talking to you guys. It was so good to meet a bunch of new people and them recognize me from the podcast as well, and it made my modern um well, how do I say this? My modern experience a lot better, for sure. Winning and losing as well. I think everyone who lost against me lost with class. Everyone who won against me won with class as well, and it was just genuinely nice to feel that.
Yeah, yeah, heck yeah, absolutely. I think that's just a reminder to everyone that the HeroClix community is actually a really good group of people,
Hmm.
and a lot of good folks who you can learn a thing or two from and share good stories with. Definitely. Um, the last thing I want to say is shout out to Alec Musser. He's not here with us right now. He's off taking
Too
a little
cool
bit of
for us
break.
nowadays.
Yeah, he's taking a little bit of break, but he put in a lot of effort over the weekend at
Hundred
Origins.
percent.
And I think that can't get enough credit. He does a phenomenal job for us here, and he does a heck of a job at everything that he's doing. He's got his hands in other projects and things like that, and he has just been a nonstop Hero Clicksaholic, giving you guys the content that you guys want, and making sure that you guys are all well informed. If you haven't had a chance to go check out a lot of the videos that have been uploaded to the YouTube channel, please do so. He puts in a lot of effort to those things. He is a one-man army who does a phenomenal job. So shout out to Alec. We love
I
you.
want to throw in the fact that he, while he's doing all this stuff for videos and content and stuff, he's also helping us a lot too by practicing with us on Roll20 a lot. Usually when we're up for a game, he's always ready to play and help practice our teams as well too. So big shout out for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Alec. We do appreciate you, and we look forward to you being over here with us and spearheading the conversation in the next one. In other
Agreed.
words, Manny, anything
Uh,
else?
that's it.
All right.
That's all.
You all have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening.